a couple things I want to adjust. I want that a little bit louder. I want that a little bit louder. That's probably good right there. Yeah. All right. So that's good. I just want to do some quick, like, hold on. Let's adjust some volume levels here. Because that one's really loud. That one's really loud. Turn that down. Social media is always really loud, so we'll lower that a little bit. Okay, so that's good to go. I'm gonna pull up the YouTube real quick, and then I'm gonna do some like testing type shit, and then we'll get into it. So I'm just gonna say testing 1 2 testing 1 2. I'm gonna hit these, hit all the songs and all that. Then say hello, testing 1 2 1 2. Ryan, how are you doing? Ryan, go ahead and talk. Uh oh. Go ahead and talk again. Uh oh. Why is that not? Go ahead and talk again. Properties?
Let me.
Nope, still don't have you. Hold on. Go ahead and talk.
Yo, what's going on? How about them Chiefs?
Okay, we're good. Let's go to main. Check that. Check. Go ahead.
Check, 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 check.
Okay, we're good. Fucking beautiful.
Sweet.
All right. Now we start doing this type of thing. Where we go here. We got 5 minutes to show time, so.
See if anybody joins the live chat.
Copy. Tweet that out. We'll go messenger this whole thing. Doom. Boom. Oh man, I forgot who I used to send this to.
The crew.
I think that's pretty much everybody. So we tweeted that out. We're gonna share. Copy link. Go to Facebook.
Live chat.
How do I go to the pages you manage? Where's that link at? I mean, damn. Ryan, I gotta say, this is like the first time we've actually talked voice to voice since probably that last episode.
Yeah, because you really haven't been on.
I pretty much ghosted. I went ghost on everybody.
You went Ghost Recon.
I needed it though. I
No.
really needed it.
Oh damn, dude, that house is. We're watching Live Rescue right now. This house is engulfed.
I'm gonna do that.
Logan's first Daytona 500.
Where are we going next? Share it there. Go back to Twitter. Switch back to that.
Oh wow.
Hey Ryan.
Hey yo.
You ready to go to work?
Yes, let's go to work.
I'm actually gonna wait till 8 o'clock hits.
Yeah.
What is Tony Not Shocked got delayed?
What's that?
Oh, Cyberpunk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, let's go to work.
Yep. Yeah, let's go.
Actually, damn it, I forgot one more thing.
Oh.
Damn it.
Oh, look at the puppy.
All right, I'm going to minimize that, exit that, come back to this, drop that down, pull you back up, pull that up, pull this up. All right, now we're ready.
Yep. All right, let's roll.
All right, rolling.
Hey, gentlemen, start your engines! I guess I'm out of control. I think I'm crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the first time in 2020, episode 72 of the Lugs podcast. I'm your host AJ, back again with me, as always, my co-host Ryan. Ryan, what's going on?
What is going on, AJ? How the hell are you? And we're back.
I tell you, it's been a long time coming. Like, the time we were off, like, to now, I truly miss doing this every week.
I did too. It's good to be back. I can't wait. 2020, man. It's here. It's upon us. 2019 finished out strong in the Cup Series. But, man, we're back. And, boy, is it good to be back. Because, as we said before, we came on the air this evening for everybody, that we our last episode was the last Michigan race that I attended, and after that, we missed it. I don't think we liked NBC's coverage. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
That's an
Just
early
kidding.
rant.
Just kidding. We love NBC Sports. We love their coverage. But yeah, took some time off. But man, I don't know about you. I feel pumped up. I'm
Ryan,
ready to get the season going.
That reminds me, did they ever announce a replacement for DW at Fox?
No, I think it's just going to be Gordon and Mike Joy in the booth. If somebody has heard anything, I've been checking the Twitter. I kind of hope they put Larry Mack back in the booth myself,
It's
personally.
always enjoyable. I always thought, Daryl, Larry, and Mike were always such a great group together. But,
Yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, even taking Daryl out, putting Jeff in that group, that would still be, pretty good. But yeah, dude, we're back. You said the last episode we did was the Michigan race. Ryan, that's also the last time you and I think, have actually talked through voice.
Yes. Well, besides our crew messenger and all that.
Yeah, like besides texting and all that, like we
Yeah.
haven't talked at all. Like I completely ghosted out on it, everything, social media, Twitter, everything.
Xbox.
I went out. Like I haven't touched my Xbox in at least a month.
Oh wow. Pick up the new Call of Duty if you have an awesome game, by the way.
I did. That was the last time I played it. I picked it up, and in like that one weekend, it was Black Friday weekend.
Yeah.
I got to like level 40 on Call of Duty, and that was it. Then I just went off. I have not been back on since. Like the only time the Xbox is turned on when I've accidentally nudged it and turned it on.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, Tony and I are on pretty much every night. So.
The times they are changing, my friend.
Yeah. Yep.
And like, let's be honest. I'm the one who, when we stopped recording the season, it was definitely my call more so than it was yours. I needed a break, and I was the one who asked you if you wanted to start doing this again, like if you wanted to start getting back into things before the season started. So, my drive is back for it, definitely.
Oh, my drive was back too. And like I said, Tony, myself, Campbell, Dave is on Xbox, Dub is on Xbox, and yeah, but yeah, we're back. We're ready to go.
The times they are changing.
Yep, 32 days left to the 500, I do believe.
31. 1 month today. 1 month today. I will be in Daytona.
Unbelievable. Feels like Kyle Busch just won the championship.
Right? I was, I'm going to be a bad fan for this, but I didn't even watch Homestead. I was so wore out on the season. Like, it just didn't interest me at the tail end of the season.
Let's put it this way. I watched Homestead, channel surfing. I wanted Harvick to win. He was the guy I was cheering for. Wouldn't have minded if Truex would have won it, but I didn't want to see Kyle or Denny win it, and unfortunately Kyle won it. Kudos to them, but we're still in our little process. We're going to dive into that later. But
oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, for me, when Chase got knocked out of the championship for the contender for whatever it was called,
yeah,
like I was done. Like I just I was like, that's it, I'm done. It's football season. I'm just gonna focus on football because
here in Detroit we can't really focus on football.
You can't. I shared that picture that was like, it doesn't get much worse to be a Detroit Lions fan because the pick before y'all was Derrick Henry, and then like the pick after you was Michael Thomas, and you picked a dude who like is he's probably not even playing like semi-pro.
He's still on the roster.
Practice
he was
squad?
hurt. Ashawn Robinson, he was hurt. I do believe the majority of the year, but this is the thing that is driving me crazy about this organization, and I've waited a long time for this.
Well,
we had Jim Caldwell, who not a lot of people liked in this town, me being one of them, but the team was competitive. 9-7. Bob Quinn, the genius GM that he is, 9-7 wasn't good enough. So he brings in his buddy, his New England buddy, Matt Patricia.
Boy, I warned you about him.
Yeah, AJ knows all about his bend but don't break defense. Well, guess what? This defense bent and it broke.
I mean, you looked at it, besides the playoffs, like the last 4 weeks of the season, you saw New England's defense most of the season. Like,
yeah,
that's our defense without Patricia.
yeah, and it was what, the number one defense in the league for a while.
Yeah. Well, hockey season's around or is here. Fortunately.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of hockey, how about Brad Marchand the other night? Want to let the viewers know what happened there?
I watched that and so the shootout after overtime, 3-on-3 overtime, no goals are scored, so we go to a shootout. Brad Marchand comes up and I believe, hell, who were we playing that night? Was it Philly? Playing Philly, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yep, Philly.
And Philly had just scored a goal in the shootout, which meant we had to score, or the Bruins had to score, and then, or otherwise it was over. And Marchand, who you think is like on point, like just unbreakable, can't stop in a shootout, gets up, completely whiffs the puck. Like center ice does not even come into. I don't think he tipped it, maybe. And
Yep.
I wasn't upset about it because I believe it's now 0 for 8 in the shootout are the Bruins this year. And it's
I
just
was
like it's the story. It's like you can't win in the shootout.
I was laughing hysterical at it when I seen that he did it, just because of the type of player he is. He's that type of player that gets under your skin, and for him just to do that and the look on his face at the bench was priceless. So that was my kick of the night.
You know what the most overlooked part of that whole game was?
What's that?
The Bruins were up by 2 goals twice and up by 3 once.
Oh, gee, and they still lost in overtime.
Lost in a shootout.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So, off-season recap, Ryan, and
Yeah.
I'll go even farther than that. I'll go from our last episode to now. What's been going on with Ryan? What have you been doing?
All right, just taking care of Logan. Logan is definitely getting big. Other than that, just watching football. Got some news. I'll get this out of the way. My dad's been in and out of the hospital for quite some time now. Um, so he's been having a lot of back pain. So he went into one of the hospitals up in Grayling, near Holton Lake, which is where he lives, and they ran some tests on him and found out that there was an artery in his heart that was only working at like 25%. So they gave him like 3 months to live at this time, and this was I think this was right after Thanksgiving, right before Christmas. But everything going on right now with Dad is going good. He's come down quite a bit to see Logan, which is awesome. And Dad, the one that got me into NASCAR, is he's a tough son of a gun.
That I remember you going through the chat and our group text and telling us about all that, and
Yeah,
it's been a rough time.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
It doesn't get easy, that's for sure. Especially when it's health issues regarding your parents and the people that you've known your entire life, like every day of your life, they have been there, and it's I can imagine how I can't imagine how tough it is for you.
Oh, it sucks though, especially he's 3 hours away, 3.5 hours away, and they live. It's funny too. They live right around the corner from Sarah's parents' house, which is kind of ironic that they live that close to each other, 3.5 hours away. But like I said, though, he's battling. He's a fighter. There's days I talk to him where he sounds like his normal self, and there's days where he sounds bad. Though they were down here 3 weekends ago, right before New Year's Eve, they were down here, and they gave Logan a couple Christmas presents, and he was fine then. But it's like when he gets up and walks, you can see that it's taking a toll on him. So, but he's a fighter. He's a Rencola. And he's the one that got me to love the sport as much as I do.
Big Mark Martin fan.
Yes, him, Davey, and yeah, he loved Mark Martin, Davey Allison. Those were his guys.
Davey, I wish I could have seen him race, man.
Oh, you missed a
Like,
legend.
that's one thing. Like when we go to NASCAR races, and I take my girlfriend to these and trying to get her into it a little bit more, and she always is always looking at certain things, and we go past the Legends tent hauler
Oh yeah.
deal, and every time I see like anything Davey Allison, I've got to get it and she always asks why, and I'm like, oh, that's the one guy I wish I could have seen race.
Go back and watch old videos on him. Yeah.
No tougher SOB than
Oh
Davey.
yeah, no kidding.
I mean, him and Earnhardt to me were the two toughest you could come by. And speaking of tough people, we lost Junior Johnson in the
Yes, we
off
did.
season, and
Yes,
that
we
one,
did.
if you didn't take a swig of moonshine for Junior Johnson, I don't know what you're doing. Because,
Exactly. Man, that was a tough one. I was what was I think Sarah? Yeah, Sarah and I were out with Logan. We were at the mall, and you had sent, or no, we we're at Walmart or the mall, one of the two. And I had found out about that, and next thing you know, you tell me that my dad's calling. He's like, "Yeah, did you hear about Junior Johnson passing away?" I'm like, "Yes, I did."
You saw I changed my cover photo on Facebook to
Yes,
an old Junior Johnson picture for a couple
yes, you
weeks
did.
there, up until the bowl game for Georgia.
Yeah.
Hey, how'd
Hey,
Michigan's bowl game go? Let's segue. Let's
oh,
segue into that.
yeah. Let's see here. They put 16 points up in the first half. They were beating Alabama, and then
Hey, at least you could say Ohio State pulled a Michigan.
yeah, that was kind of funny too. Yeah, speaking of which, yeah, how about them Ohio State Buckeyes? Oops. Yeah, you complain about the referees. You complain about the referees. Why don't you stop? Why did you stop handing the ball off to J.K. Dobbins, who ran for almost 3,000 yards against Clemson's defense?
Oh no.
Yeah, that's right. I can't say anything though. They beat our asses every year.
Man, and I say this every episode, and I know we're a racing podcast, but how about all this allegations of the Astros right now?
Um,
Like,
I
baseball, listen, baseball has been needing something to draw the casual fans back. And
don't think this is going to bring them back.
this
Maybe
is going to make it an interesting season.
Yep.
You have the powerhouses of the Astros and the Red Sox, even though not so much last year, the Red Sox, but you still can't not say that they're not a powerhouse team.
Yep.
Now losing their managers, the Astros are in deep.
Carlos Beltran just got fired today
He
too.
managed the Mets. They should have left him there. It's enough punishment to be there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the thing too. I don't know if you've seen the video. You're facing Aroldis Chapman, who is notorious for throwing fastballs. When I'm going to the plate facing him, if I'm anybody, guess what I'm looking for? I'm looking for a fastball. I'm not looking for an 88 mile an hour
Exactly.
slider.
I'm not sitting on the breaking ball.
They knew something was up, and
I feel like Chapman knew. I told you that earlier. I felt Chapman knew because you see his face after that ball gets
exactly.
hit, and he's just like got this, eating grin on his face.
Yeah, that
like,
grinder's like, are you serious? He bleeping hit that ball? Yeah, exactly. You're facing Chapman. You're looking for fastball. If I'm going up there facing Tim Wakefield, guess what I was looking for? A knuckleball.
I mean, really, like it just. I hope they throw the book at him. I hope
I hope they do too.
For some reason, like give Hinch a little bit more leniency than I give anybody else because from any report I've read about it, it said that like Hinch knew, but he also kind of tried to stop it when it was going on, and it kept resurfacing and all that. Like if he actually did try to stop it, he's the only person I saw mentioned even remotely close to trying to stop it. But players like Altuve, Bregman, Beltran, Cora, get him out of there. Get him out of the league. Get him
Josh
going.
Reddick. There's on his
Josh
Twitter.
Reddick tape. I saw that.
Yeah, that tape on his arm. They're saying it's confetti. I was listening to our local radio on the way home this afternoon from work, and they were talking about that, and they were showing all these pictures, and I went to Josh Reddick's Twitter because I follow him on Twitter, and I'm like, I'll be that. It's something there.
It's something that needs to be taken a deeper look into. I think,
especially when Altuve was rounding third base when he hit that walk-off winner.
Yep. And then Altuve saying, don't rip my shirt. Don't rip my shirt.
Yep. So they knew something. Now, if they do find something, what are they going to do with Altuve? You think they're going to kick him out of the league?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough to ban players. I mean, they banned Shoeless Joe Jackson, they banned Pete Rose, but Pete
Yeah.
Rose was a manager at the time. And, I had this thought today. This is like a modern day version of the Black Sox scandal.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's not gambling or anything, but it's a little bit, it's just like that. Like, at the time, gambling was the biggest form of cheating you had in sports when the whole Black Sox scandal came out. Well, now, sign stealing is the biggest cheat in baseball. And sign stealing, for those that are baseball fans, know that sign stealing has always been a part of the game.
Exactly. Yeah, since the inception of baseball,
Now-
people have been trying to steal signs.
Now, the way that the Astros and potentially the Red Sox have gone about doing it, that's wrong. There's no room for that. That's straight cheating. When you're bringing like devices onto the field to help you cheat on the field of play, if this whole thing about these little buzzers are true, throw the book, man. Like Altuve, Bregman, Reddick, just the ones that have done it, like you have proof of it, gone. See ya, adios.
There was an interesting question asked earlier, and I'll ask you, what's worse, what the Astros did or the PED steroid scandal?
One more time.
What's worse, what the Astros have done or the PED steroid scandal?
Much to a lot of chagrin from people, I've never seen the steroids are a problem, I guess, but I never saw it as like a way to cheat.
Yeah.
What the Astros are doing, though, regardless, is way worse.
Heck yeah.
My argument has always been a needle in the arm of whatever injection you're putting in there does not help you hit a rounded object with another round object, and especially hitting it as far as you can. However, knowing that a breaking ball pitch is being set up away, inside, high, knowing that pitch is coming at that moment, you can have a 600 career home run hitter.
Exactly.
You can win multiple World Series because you're coming through in these clutch situations over and over again. Like, I don't know about you, Ryan. I've always considered, and this is kind of like, I'm kind of a homer when I say this. I've always considered Derek Jeter probably one of the most clutch hitters to ever live.
I agree with you 110%.
You never had this.
October.
Exactly. You never had that thought about him.
Mm-hmm.
Never. Even now today, like after all the allegations you've seen come out, you never would think that about him. Now you look at what the Astros are doing, and now you question every clutch moment. Like, did they know that was coming? Like, I think Tony in our group text said earlier that, it makes you question everything about baseball from here on.
Yep.
Legitimacy is...
Well, the thing, too, though, is like with the steroid with McGuire Sosa, the home run record to chase 62.
It was entertaining.
Exactly. You got people back in this sport. And then with what Barry Bonds did when he hit his historic home run. And now this, it may bring people back.
I'm really interested to just see how this unfolds and what this means on the season this year.
I don't know what's Major League Baseball going to do. You can't ban the Astros from the playoffs if they make it. I mean,
no, you can't. But that is a story for another podcast on another day, and one that is more centered around all sports. Ryan, we've got some stuff to go over because we do. Like the last 3 months of the season and the first month and a half of the off season. So, for old time's sake, let's go into a gas and go where we recap most races and just recap some silly season stuff.
There we go.
Ryan, let's kick things off with a quick silly season recap here, and kind of like a preview, if you want to say, of 2020. Full-time drivers that will not be racing this year, and I'm getting all this information from jski.com. Make sure you check that out. Anything NASCAR, it is a blessing to have when you run a podcast for NASCAR. 2019 full-time drivers that will not race full-time 2020. Paul Menard, David Reagan, Matt Tiff for health reasons. David Reagan is supposedly, from what I saw, racing in the Daytona 500.
He's running for the Daytona 500. Yes, that is correct.
And Paul Menard is gone, just like the only way Paul Menard can.
Yeah. with the whole Matt Tift issue.
Those health issues
I don't
are
know if you guys
that's
remember me,
unfortunate.
but I did meet him part of our tweet up out at MIS in August. Very very humbled individual, very down to earth guy. His only problem is he cheers for Ohio State, and I even told him that. Him and I got a kick out of it. But no, very humble man. I hope the health issues subside and he can get back into a race car.
Agreed. I agree with that. Hopefully he can figure out this because like he's had this for a long time now. A
Yes,
couple
yes.
seasons now. It's hindered his how he finishes the season. Um, I agree. Hopefully he can get that all worked out and be back behind the wheel sometime soon.
There is another driver you failed to mention. There might be something lined up with him in the Xfinity. What about Daniel Suarez?
I was gonna get to Daniel Suarez here in just a second, but
Uh,
yeah, there's some rumors that he could be moving to Xfinity for RCR, or even Gaunt
Gaunt
Brothers.
Brothers. Yep,
But
I got
it's,
that up right now as we're speaking. So,
they're still looking to get him into a ride next year, and which
I mean, this year,
or this year, it's so hard.
I,
16 days into 2020, and I still say like last year, thinking about 2018.
I've gone on a couple deliveries and pickups, and I go right down the date. I'm like, oh shoot, it's 2020. Oops.
Yeah, I do it constantly, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Suarez, I'm honestly shocked that he hasn't found some sort of ride like Xfinity truck.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
dominated those two forms of racing. But moving on, Chris Buescher is going from the 37 JTG Daughtery Racing to Chevrolet to join the number 17 Roush Fenway Racing Ford, back with Roush Fenway Racing, taking over for Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who is basically, it's almost like a trade.
Yep.
So Chris Buescher goes to Roush Fenway Racing. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. goes to JTG Daughtery Racing.
I honestly like the move for both guys. I think that it was time for a change of scenery, especially for Stenhouse. Bennett Roush, yes, he got a couple wins at Daytona and Talladega, but I just think that it was the right time to move on and move to a different organization. Chris Buescher, see what he can do in this with this 17. Ryan Newman showed last year that the Roush Fenway can still make the playoffs and have solve decent finishes. So
That's what I'm
let's see what-
interested in. I'm really interested in that aspect of it because if Buescher can come in and then have success at Roush, then you know where I'm getting at here.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
I also
But
have a soft spot in my heart for one Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Oh oh yeah.
But yeah, it could be good. Buescher, I thought, was doing really well at JTG. Stenhouse was obviously struggling at Roush. I hate that Buescher had to move, but he's back kind of in a home for him.
Yeah, because he was still under contract, I guess, with Roush Fenway, if I'm not mistaken, because he was driving for them in the Xfinity Series and was supposed. And then when he won that race at Pocono, I thought that was a Roush car that he was in, or a side Roush car.
I
that he was
believe
in
so.
when-
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But yeah, good move for both guys. Change of scenery always helps.
Matty DiBenedetto, D Burrito,
My favorite move.
is going from the number 95 LFR Toyota last year.
Yeah, it was Toyota. It's
It
still
was
it's a
Toyota.
Toyota.
They had the
still.
Barstool car last year, which I thought was awesome. He's going to the number 21 Wood Brothers Racing Ford, taking over for Paul Menard, which I agree, Ryan, could be the biggest move of the
love
offseason.
it. I absolutely love it. Yeah, there's just there's something about it. I don't know what it is, but I think with the funding they get from Stewart Haas Racing as well, I think bigger and brighter things are on the verge for Matt DiBenedetto. Should have won Bristol last year, but unfortunately came up short because Hamlin passed him, I think, with like 5 or 6 laps to go. But like I said, bigger and brighter things for this kid in the future.
I agree with you, man. I agree with you. Joey Gay's moving from Motorsports Business Management to Rick Ware Racing. Yeah, there's that one.
Yep.
Daniel Hemrick was released by RCR. So Hemrick will be running a partial schedule with Junior Motorsports next year.
I was kind of upset with that one with Hemrick. I thought Hemrick showed that he's got the talent to get the job done, but with what Tyler Reddick was doing down with with the RCR and Junior Motorsports in the Xfinity Series, you couldn't keep him down in the Xfinity Series forever, so you had to bring him up. And unfortunately, it was either grandson or Daniel Hemrick.
Agreed. And I think Tyler Reddick is. I think Tyler Reddick is like maybe a smidge better of a driver than Hemrick, in a sense of Reddick has just won the last two Xfinity Series titles, uh, both with different teams. I think Reddick is showing that he can drive. He is ready for that next step, more so ready than maybe Daniel Hemrick. I remember when Hemrick got the move to last year. I think he ran a couple Cup races, and I was like, I really don't think that's the guy. Not, and I say last year as in I'm thinking of 2018 again.
Yeah,
When he
2018.
raced a couple
I
races.
got you.
I still thought that like Hemrick wouldn't be ready, but looking at Reddick, I think Reddick is definitely a good fit to be in that
Exactly.
gate ride. So, we went over Daniel Suarez and Rookie of the Year candidates this year. Christopher Bell coming in to the 95 LFR Toyota, taking over for Matt DiBenedetto. Cole Custer is taking over the 41 ride for Daniel Suarez. Ryan, I know you love that move.
Yes, I do. I'm
Long time coming.
Yeah, it has been. Like if anybody's all followed the show, knowing I've been a big Cole Custer supporter ever since he was in the Truck Series. When I seen he signed with Stuart Haas, I thought it was a great move. They just had too many roosters in the hen house right there for him to get up. But unfortunately, Daniel Suarez was out, and now Cole Custer's time to shine.
We always wondered like when the pieces would fall and the planets would align for Cole Custer to finally get a shot at a Cup ride, and it's finally here. Along with, to a lesser extent, John Hunter Nemechek, like another guy that has been in Xfinity, been in trucks for what seems like forever now.
What team is he racing for?
Tyler Reddick is the last guy for the Rookie of the Year. Where was it?
Is it front?
I think
row?
it is Front Row.
Yeah, it's Front Row. All right.
He is racing the number 38 Front Row Motorsports Ford.
So out of those four, AJ, who do you think's going to win Rookie of the Year?
I don't know, man, because I'd like to say Christopher Bell, but I don't. Is it bad that I don't think the equipment's there for Christopher Bell to win a Rookie of the Year?
I think Cole Custer's going to win it. Just look at the righties in the 41
it's either going to be Custer or Reddick. I really, if you go Custer, I'll go Reddick.
Yeah, I'm going Custer. I actually think he's going to win a race this year. That's how confident I am.
I think even Reddick could win a race this year.
Yep, Bell could win a race too. You all know that, but like you said, AJ, with the Levine family racing stuff, I don't know if it's there.
But you know what? Matt DiBenedetto took that ride and did better than any other driver behind the wheel of that 95 ever did. So
yeah, I would see that car good at Daytona, Talladega, and Bristol, which is the tracks that DiBenedetto was good at this
also
past
good
year.
Tracks to pick DiBenedetto to win at this year.
Yeah.
So let's go to the full-time teams this year. Quint Huff is taking over the 00 Starcom Racing Chevy for Landon Castle. Apparently, Landon Castle is still involved in some sort of way with the team.
That's always a good thing.
Penske Racing has no changes except...
Oh, yeah.
They have crew and crew chief changes. The only things that are staying the same are...
the driver numbers and the cars.
The numbers and the spotters. Jeremy Bullen's taking over for Brad Keselowski. Justin Alexander's taking over for Austin Dillon. I know we're moving. I'm just going in numerical order.
Chronological order. Okay.
Yeah. Justin Alexander taking over for Austin Dillon as the crew chief there.
Harvick controllers. If you're going on J-Ski, which I'm on right now as well, by the way.
Yep. I'm just going over the new ones.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Right here. Oh, did you do Reddick and Randall Burnett?
No, I did not. I was actually just coming down to it. But yeah, Reddick we mentioned in the eight card this year for RCR. Mike Bugaravich is taking over for Eric Almirola in the number 10 Stewart Haas Racing Ford.
I like that move.
Almirola and Boyer have swapped crew chiefs for this year, and
Yep.
I think Bugaravich is one of the better crew chiefs in NASCAR. I really like him.
And here's my favorite move right here. The next one you're gonna read.
Ryan Blaney's crew chief is now Todd Gordon.
My favorite move in the offseason right there by far.
Man, this might be the
When-
year of Blaney.
When they announced, and I shared it with you guys on Facebook, when they're like Todd Gordon is going with Ryan Blaney, I'm like,
I'd like to cheer for Blaney, like root for him, but I feel like it's like almost like a Gordon Jr. rivalry if we're talking about like Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney. Like it really could be one of those because like you're a fan of one or the other. You can't.
Exactly.
I don't feel like I could be a fan of both.
exactly.
You might have to pronounce this next name for me, Ryan.
What's that? Oh,
Clint Boyer, number 14, Stewart Haas Racing Ford.
Klossmeyer.
I will just go with that, Ryan.
Yeah, John Klossmeyer.
Brennan Poole will be taking over the number 15 Premium Motorsport Chevy. Chris Buescher is bringing Luke Lambert over to be his crew chief there at Roush. James Small. This was.
Yeah, the biggest news. I think this
I
was.
had this in news, but really you can't look past it here. Cole Pern leaving in the offseason to me was the biggest shock.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey,
He's running a ski resort now. Like, what?
Yeah, like I read that, I'm like, no way. I know,
I was
really.
being punked when I read it.
But what did you hear his reasoning behind it?
He said that he wasn't going to be like having a career in NASCAR. Like he wouldn't make it like a full thing.
Yeah.
So,
Plus,
that's what I thought.
Plus, family time, and this is what I'm saying. NASCAR has the shortest off season out of any of the major sports. As soon as they were done with that Homestead race, they were probably back in that shop Monday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday of that week, working on the car, getting it ready for the Daytona 500.
Yeah, and that's the one thing with Pern. He's always been like kind of like that Lone Ranger. You know, he does what he wants, and that's how it's going to be. And I think it's a pretty good way to do things.
Yeah, no kidding. I think he'll be back at some point.
So, going up, maybe I don't know. I think he's going to have fun running that ski resort.
I might.
Matt DiBenedetto, number 21, Wood Brothers Racing Ford with Greg Irwin. We mentioned that. The number 22, Penske Racing Ford, or Team Penske, I should say. Joey Logano, crew chief, is now Paul Wolf from Brad Keselowski.
I don't know if I think it'll work in the long run. It'll take a minute to adjust, obviously. So
Yeah, I agree with you. We mentioned John Hummer Nemechek taking over in the Front Row Motorsports 38.
yeah,
Cole Custer with Mike Shiplett is in the number 41 Super Haas Racing Ford. New crew chief. This was actually, I think, just announced today or a couple days ago. Jerry Baxter taking over the crew chief roles for Bubba Wallace.
mm-hmm.
Stenhouse is moved over to the 47 with Brian Patty as his crew chief. And Ross Chastain racing some races this year with Spire Motorsports.
I knew you got to throw. You got to throw.
I do. I have to throw that in there. A local guy, man.
Yes, you do.
Christopher Bell we mentioned in the LFR number 95 Toyota. He's bringing on longtime sponsor Rheem with him.
Yeah, and Jason Ratcliffe too.
Along with Jason Ratcliffe. Like, see, now I look at that and I'm like, man, maybe.
My issue is that the smaller teams like Levine, even though they're getting funded from Gibbs, are going to focus more, I think, into next year with the newer car, with the car, or what are they calling this? The car.
I'm just calling it next gen. That's what I'm going to call it.
All right, next gen. All right. Yeah, I think that like the the JTD Doherty racing, maybe obviously the Go Fast Racing are gonna go on to Rick Ware Racing, a couple of them. Like I said, the smaller teams, they'll be focused on that car instead of this year.
Agreed.
I was listening to. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I was listening to Sirius XM Channel 90, the NASCAR radio, a couple weeks ago. And Sarah's laughing at me. She actually got a new vehicle. It's got satellite radio, and boy, do I love that Channel 90 Sirius XM.
Yeah. Have you checked out the Barstool radio too?
I have not checked that out. I'm a big fan of Octane Turbo, Liquid Metal, obviously. So some good shout outs there, by the way, guys.
Part-time teams, Ryan. Justin
yep.
Haley, the FOE Colleague Racing, number 16.
He's running for the 500, by the way.
He is indeed. David Reagan is going to be driving the 36 for the Daytona 500.
Yeah, 36 for the 500. Yep.
Brennan Gaughan said that I think he said something about this is going to be his last year.
Yep.
Racing. He's back in the 62 for Daytona, or all super speedway races, I should say. And that's...
See, now right here on the number 96 Brothers Racing Toyota, they got Parker Kligerman, and then they have Daniel Suarez, both with question marks.
I think it's just potentially, maybe, just speculation. And that's all I got for the Cup side of things. Yeah. Just real quickly, going to go over some Xfinity and Truck Series silly season notes. JD Motorsports number 4 is going to be Jesse Little this year.
Good. Glad for Jesse. I'm happy for Jesse there.
I mentioned Hemrick is going to be in the 8 along with Jed Burton and Dale Jr. at Homestead, which I'm going to try to go to that. I'm trying to put some things together.
3 hours.
What's that?
3 hours isn't bad.
No, it's not. Ryan, I just noticed this. Number 9, Junior Motorsports Chevy, Noah Gregson's got a question mark next to him.
Really?
Saying nothing...
As far as
nothing has been announced, but indications are that Gregson will return. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that.
Yeah.
Ross Chastain will be running full-time with the number 10 Colleague Racing Chevrolet.
That's a team right there I like right there. Colleague, I love the owner, Matt Colleague. Hey, we're not here to win championships. We want to win races. Guess what? They've shown it. They want to go out and win races.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and I don't think there's a better wheelman in the sport right now than that guy, Ross Chastain.
And I love what Chastain says. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you hate me. I'm out here to win races.
He could prove you can win at anything.
Yeah, he won almost. Only thing he didn't win was Cup.
The
part of the equipment, so
yeah. The number 18 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota is going to have Riley Herbst in it this year.
Moving up from the ARCA and part-time truck, I think, was Herbst.
Along with this next guy who is switching over from trucks to Xfinity, Harrison Burton, going to take over the number 20 that Christopher Bell is leaving behind.
I'm surprised Kyle Busch let him go.
Todd Gilliland, too, I think.
Oh, yeah, it was Todd Gilliland when he won at Martinsville. Kyle Busch, stay in the truck.
I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, it was Martinsville. It was Martinsville. Because we had a recording, and all of a sudden they were like, "Yeah, Todd Gilliland on the radio. Kyle Busch, stay in the hauler."
And another guy, Myatt Snyder, in the number 21 RCR Chevy with Tax Slayer coming back to the sport.
Nice to see Myatt getting our ride.
Let's see here. That looks like it'll pretty much do it.
There's a big thing in the Truck and Xfinity series, which I think we're getting ready to touch on right now since we're talking about it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go over that here in a second. I got it coming up. Coming up here in a second.
Well, I figured since we were talking about trucks and the Xfinity.
Let me see. I'm just moving over to the trucks now, Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see.
I don't know if anybody saw this, but Haley Deegan was taking laps at Daytona. So
yeah, her and Kyle Busch were doing
the road course
4 before the 24 or something like that.
Yep.
So here we go. Number 4, Kyle Busch Motorsports Toyota Raphael Lessard. I hope I said
Oh,
that
all
right.
right, all right.
He's taking over for Todd Gilliland in that one. No shock to Ryan.
Nope. Well, as soon as Ty Gillen said Cowboy stand the holler, well, here's your pink slip, buddy. Get out of here.
um, the 18 Cowbush Motorsports Toyota will have Christian Eckes behind the wheel.
I like that kid a lot.
Yeah, he won the ARCA championship.
Yep.
So I mean, can't be a bad choice to fill that seat for sure.
No, not at all.
The number 21 GMS Racing Chevy, which was piloted last year by Brett Moffitt, is now being taken over by Zane Smith, and the number 23 GMS Racing Chevy will be taken over by Brett Moffitt.
Oh, so adding another. Yeah,
I believe. I believe that's how it works. I don't think he was 21 last year. I think he was 23, or he was 21 last year, 23 this year. Two more GMS entries. Sam Mayer will take over the number 24, and Tyler Ankrum will take over the 26, all for GMS.
Ankrum had a great year too in that 17 truck that made it to the Final Four in the Truck Series. That was no, he didn't make the Final Four. I thought he was out before the Final Four. Excuse me, my fault.
The number 38 Front Row Motorsports Ford Front Row putting in entries into the Truck Series now. Todd Gilliland is going to be the driver of that one, to no surprise of Ryan.
Yep. Watch out, number 4 truck gets spun.
Ty Majeski, familiar name, returning to the Nice Motorsports Chevy 45.
Majeski ran a lot of ARCA races this past year. I watched a lot of them, and he was in the top 3, top 4 every race.
And that is, he's taking over that ride because Chastain is moving to Xfinity full time.
Yep.
At Helmer Racing, this is a bigger move in the Truck Series, is switching from Chevy to Toyota this year. Still going to be piloted by Stuart Friesen.
All right.
And that is 2020 part-time teams. Jennifer Jo Cobb Racing not coming back next year. For the 05 DGR Crossley, Norm Benning not returning next year.
Oh man, I love watching
year?
Norm.
Where was it that Norm had the middle finger out the window? That was the damn funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
Just, you want to talk about a driver who just didn't care?
That's Norm. I don't know if I just saw it right here.
Oh, I think I read that.
Bobby Gerhardt had a heart attack, so he's not going to be running at Daytona.
I'm sorry, those were part-time teams. Teams. I said they were not running. They are running. Those are the part-time.
Oh, okay.
Teams. Okay. The teams that will not be back next year are the 97 for Jesse Little. Jesse Little, as I said earlier, is going to be in the Xfinity Series next year.
Yep.
Now, Ryan, just real quick, what did you think of the way the season ended last year?
Truck and Xfinity, I thought the final race where the final races were better than the Cup Series at Homestead. I enjoyed them. So, I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead, AJ. Take over for me.
Well, I mean, I was really entertained in the Truck Series playoffs with the run that Ross Chastain was putting together.
Yep, Ross, Ankrum.
That was the best battle last year.
Yep.
Was the Truck Series. And, excuse me.
Yep.
I watched the Homestead race and out with a couple friends, just, having dinner and all that. And I was glued to the TV watching that final race because, I mean, all 4 drivers at one point were up front.
Yes, they were.
Every one of the 4 at some point were up there. Matt Crafton taking the Matt Kenseth method and just not winning a single race.
Yep.
Which Kenseth won, I think, one race in 2003?
I honestly forgot that Crafton won it. I went in a race. I'm like, but hey, you know what? And you remember at the beginning when this package, these rules came out, saying winning means everything. Well, guess what? Crafton found a loophole.
Yeah, just finish in front of the guy behind you, or the other 4.
Exactly.
I'm trying to see. Kenseth won Las Vegas, and that was it.
Yep.
That was it that year. The third race of the season. Like, by nowadays point standings, that would be nothing. That would be eliminated first round.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Matt Crafton without winning a single race. I'm looking up now where he finished in that Homestead race.
I thought he finished second or third, if I'm not mistaken.
2019 in Homestead finished second. Yep, finished second.
Oh, you get so yeah.
Yeah, that I mean, just how?
Yeah, exactly.
Just I don't know what I just clicked on.
I don't know.
Just
But
yeah, I'm here.
I thought the Roval again was very entertaining. I did like the Chase Elliott burnout, by the way.
That's right. We weren't.
Yeah, we didn't record that.
That's right. Yeah, you saw me. You saw my reaction. I think I might have even.
Yeah.
I don't know if I posted that to Twitter. I might have to, depending on what everyone thinks to do.
Well, the best part about it was he spun in that, or he missed the turn in that exact same spot, the same place that Keselowski missed it. And then when he won, he's like, oh, "I'm going to go over there and have at it." And he have at it, all right. I love when he got out of the car and it was moving too.
I didn't post it, so but I might not. I don't think I'm going to.
Oh man. But yeah, don't we got some rule changes here in the Xfinity and Truck Series?
Yeah, I guess we're not going to talk about Kyle Busch winning the title.
Well,
you weren't happy about it.
I mean, I wasn't happy about it, but the guy did what he had to do to win the championship. So win races. Well, Crafton showed you that you didn't have to do that.
Yeah, really. All right, let's go into some Tyro. Let's get over some news.
All right.
Left side. Pull this left fender out, left side.
Well, kicking things off, let's start with the Xfinity and Truck Series. There's going to be pit stop changes to their both respective series in certain races. I'm just going to read a little bit of the article here.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are pit road changes. NASCAR officials introduced rule changes Tuesday for pit stops, both for personal and procedures in select Xfinity Series and Gander RV and Outdoor Truck Series events this season. The rules will be in place for 4 Xfinity Series races, Mid-Ohio, Iowa, and Road America, so both Iowa Speedway races and Road America.
Because those are weekends that Cup are in a different track.
Correct.
Which is, I understand why they're doing this, so...
Gander truck teams will operate within these rules at 3 events this season: Iowa, Gateway, and Canadian Tire. None of the races or are companion events with the NASCAR Cup Series, like Ryan said.
Now go ahead and explain the rules to our listeners.
The field is frozen when the caution is displayed, naturally. It is a full pit cycle. You have 2 opportunities to pit during the stage breaks. Non-stage breaks, you get a full pit cycle with 2 opportunities to pit and an optional quickie yellow, which is 1 opportunity to pit. The team roster will consist of 8 crew members, the pit crew, 4 to service the car, 1 fueler, and 1 driver assist must be drawn from those 8 crew members. Pit stops must be completed within a designated time period. On oval tracks, teams may add fuel and change 2 tires per pit stop. On a road course, teams may add fuel or change 4 tires per pit stop. So on ovals, you only get a 2-tire stop. On road courses, you can do the full 4-tire stop, if I'm understanding that correctly.
Yeah, that's where I got confused when I was reading it. Why wouldn't you not want to take 4 tires at an oval and 2 tires at a road course? I mean, hi, Binks.
I don't know. I feel like you need the 4 more so at road course than ovals.
And that's when I told Sarah, I'm like, let's just have it play out and see where it goes from here.
On the restart procedures, in order of at time of caution, based on number of pit stops in the following order: vehicles that did not pit will be first. Following behind that will be vehicles that pitted 1 time, followed by 2 times, And number 3, or the third set of drivers, will be the free pass wave around vehicles and penalty vehicles, which that is big because the drivers who would pit and then, or that whole debacle they had last year, I can't even remember the track, where
man.
the wave around cars and the penalty
Yep.
cars were in front of everybody, and it was a mess.
See, that's why I think like with some of these shorter races, for like you said, like the truck and the Xfinity.
Boy, I'm
like,
confused by this. I'm sitting here just
Yeah.
reading it again, going, "What?"
Yeah. They should have just froze the field because they ran 5 extra laps. I think it was. I forgot what race it was at, but I know what you're talking about, and I don't remember the race, but I don't understand
It wasn't
why.
Kansas, was it?
I think that, yeah, or something like that. But why? Yeah, why continue the race? Stop
This is the
field.
Roval.
It was something like that too, but it happened. It happens quite a bit. Stop the field and figure it out. I don't get why they don't do that.
Here are the penalties. You restart the tail end if you exceed the time limit on pit road. If involved in incidents, allowed to change 4 tires at once to avoid damaging the vehicle and pitting other than the designated lap. You get a 2-lap penalty if you've performed 4 tires and fuel on any stop that I'm assuming is not due to damage. I'm assuming.
I got you.
You change tires under green because you can only change tires under yellow. Or perform 4 tires on any pit stop. That says that twice.
Yeah.
Oh, that said fuel earlier. 4 tires and fuel on the
I
pit
get
stop.
it.
This was just 4 tires on it. So this will be interesting. That's what I'm gonna leave it with.
Yeah. Well, I say instead of us trying to figure it out, let's have it just play out when we get to Iowa. I think
Yeah.
that's the first one.
Yep, I agree with that.
But like I said, I understand why they did it because I was telling Sarah because it's the Mid Ohio race for the Xfinity that the truck and cup cars are at MIS. It's no point to have a team fly to Mid Ohio to pit a car to fly back the next day. It's a lot of money to do that. Granted, Mid Ohio to Michigan International Speedway is probably about if I'm not mistaken, a 2.5 hour drive. They could have done it like that, but then all the other expenses, so to speak, on that trip.
I agree.
I understand why they're doing it. I'm interested to see. So,
The Xfinity Series is going to run the road course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
just a matter of time before Cup does it to try to get to make Indy mean something.
Just do it now.
Yeah.
Just a kind of like an ESPN style what to watch for this Saturday Chili Bowl.
Yeah, I hopefully I can. We don't have MAP TV unfortunately at our with our cable service, so I'm gonna hopefully find a stream of it. But
I'm gonna have to record it because I am invested in that McGregor fight that evening.
yeah, I would love to watch that too. So, but speaking of which, it happened last year. Did you watch the Brickyard 400 at all?
Yes.
What did you think of the attendance?
LOL.
Thank you. I had one guy. We were at Sarah had a doctor appointment for her ear. She had some ear surgery over our off season, and so we're at one of her appointments, and some guy was like, "That was one of the best indie crowds we've seen in a while," and this guy got bombarded with people that are like, "Man, yeah, it was. I'm like, do you guys not remember the very first ever Brickyard 400? You want to know when the attendance at Brickyard started going down? Is the race that Jimmy Johnson won, where they would run 15 laps, caution, 15 laps, caution. It's a 200,000 seat track, and to have it as empty as it was embarrassing. It was flat out embarrassing.
It's like a mini rant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mini rant. I got a better run that you're going to get a kick out of. But no, this guy was trying to say that because that you guys should stop worrying about the attendance and worry about what you see on the track. Well, I remember that race, and I didn't see much on the track either.
I agree. I agree with that. Um,
Anyways, sorry to
no, you're good.
throw-
NASCAR is making rule changes to the Cup Series short track and road courses in an effort to improve the racing that they've had there, give the fans a little bit more excitement. They're doing some modifications to the spoiler splitter and radiator pan at the following tracks: Bristol, the Charlotte Roval, Dover, Martinsville, New Hampshire, the newly named Phoenix Raceway, or gone back to the old name of Phoenix Raceway, Richmond Raceway, Sonoma Raceway, and Watkins Glen International.
I think Watkins Glen, Bristol, and Martinsville have been some of the best races, and the Roval for that matter, have been some of the best races that
Is
we've
Sonoma
seen.
running the boot again?
What's that?
Is Sonoma running the boot again?
I'm not sure. I hope they do. I thought that was some entertaining stuff. It was nice to go back to it, to what Martin Senior, Rusty, and all these guys ran on. I enjoyed it.
I don't know if that was
A
just something
one-time
they did
thing.
for the
or-
anniversary of Sonoma, but
I guess we'll find out this year when Fox goes there.
I don't know. I've been trying to look for news on it. I don't see nothing.
But
So,
Bristol and Martinsville have been fine with this rules package. I don't know why they're going to.
I said the boot. I meant the carousel, not the boot.
Das Boot.
I think is the boot Watkins Glen?
Uh,
Didn't Watkins Glen have?
yeah, they have got the little boot that the IndyCar does. So,
Yeah, it's Watkins Glen. I don't know why. I just out of my mind.
what did you think of the new carousel that they added at the Roval?
I thought boy, was it not more of a cluster?
I like the one on the backstretch. Remember how like the first year that it was something little, but then they went and they modified it, and it was. I thought it was great. I'm like, man, why don't they run this during the Coca-Cola 600?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if you could do it there.
There's some things that with the Roval that still need work on it, but all in all, I think it's a great race.
Just real quick, just gonna touch on it. The
Yeah, go ahead.
Phoenix from ISM Raceway to Phoenix Raceway. I don't think it makes a difference for you or I because we butchered that name all year.
We called it Phoenix.
So it's just gonna stay with that, all right? NASCAR is talking to Verizon about returning to the sport. Just out of sponsorship news, as you know, the Cup Series is now like a multi-name series, as most of you already know.
Yep.
I don't know if you had any thoughts on that.
Money. I know Monster's still going to be at all the tracks. I know they're going to have their monster team there. They do the stunts and everything, and for the crowd prior to the race, Monster girls are still going to be there. Thank you, Lord.
So you gotta say that quietly. Sarah's around.
Yeah, I know. That's what I did. But I think somebody's going. I heard that Monster offered NASCAR a deal to still be called the Monster Energy Cup Series. Apparently, NASCAR said no to it.
I'm okay with it because that means all the Hendrick stuff will at least say Cup Series on the windshield instead of leaving it blank.
Yep.
This is just an estimated entry list for the Daytona 500. It has 41 entries on it, which include Christopher Bell, Ross Chastain, Timmy Hill, Brendan Gaughan, J.J. Yaley, Joey Gase, Chad Fincham, your usual suspects naturally. Cole Custer's in it, John Hunter Nemechek, Corey LaJoy, Brennan Poole, Justin Haley. I'm just pointing out names that stick out as being on it. Quinn Huff and the Double Zeros we were talking about.
Are they going
earlier.
for 36 spots?
They are 36 spots. So, and Daytona always draws every year. It draws.
Yep.
So
I remember back in the day they had like 50-some cars going for that.
Oh
And
yeah,
now-
remember watching qualifying? Remember watching single car qualifying for the Daytona 500?
Oh man, it would be like 2 hours. You have to get up to speed, then you get your 2 laps. I'm so
you would have to
happy.
book. You would have to book a Sunday and just sit there and all afternoon watch it.
Yep. I'm so glad now it's just one car, you go around, you get your lap. As soon as that car passes, the other car is out on the track getting up speed.
And the only other news I have here is about the next gen car, and they have started phase 3 of the
Oh,
new.
yeah, they were at Homestead this past week.
Eric Jones tested at
Yep.
Homestead, which was open to the fans this week. Said
Couple
it's a
nice
lot of
fan
fun.
videos, by the way.
He said he
Couple nice.
enjoyed it.
What's that?
He said he enjoyed it. He said it was a lot of fun.
Oh, Eric Jones.
Yes.
I'm still trying to get my head around it. I think it looks decent. I just gotta get my head around it.
I need
It's like,
to see it with the manufacturer logos on it.
yep, and with the sponsor. Like when you remember when they put the wing on the car, and we watched the Daytona 500. I'm like, I gotta see it in person. I saw it in person in Junior one, so I was happy. So
Looked like airplanes.
yeah, they did.
I will tell you, this car just looks.
It looks fast. It really does.
It looks weird. Like, I think it looks weird.
It
Like
looks
the way they have
fast.
it laid out right now, it just looks odd. But I'm interested to see it with like. I need multiple cars on the track before I can
Yeah,
make
you
an
can't get
assumption
one.
to it. Because like with just one, you're not gonna. What are you gonna really know?
I think Logano tested it at Phoenix.
Yes,
he-
he was sick that day. I remember watching that. He was sick that day.
Yeah.
It was ISM Raceway then.
Oh yeah, now it's Phoenix. Oh yeah. Speaking of which, how about Roger Penske?
Did I miss something?
Bought Indy Motor Speedway.
Oh, yes.
That's pretty big news.
Yes, but I was just sticking with the NASCAR stuff. I wasn't going anywhere else with it. I've got like a half social media update if you want to go into that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just real quick this week. We're not in the full season yet. We're not into that stretch yet. So I'm just gonna go with some places you could find us. Make sure you check us out on Podbean, iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube by typing in your search bar the Loose Lugs Podcast. Subscribe, follow, turn on that notification bell so this way you get notified every time we upload new content, and so you can hear that notification bell ding. Ryan?
Ding, ding, ding. We're back.
Hell yeah, brother. On Twitter, we are at Lugs Podcast. You can tweet us about the show using the hashtag LugsPod, and on Facebook, in your search bar, the Loose Lugs Podcast. Our personal accounts, myself, Grey Goose, F150, and Ryan.
Our Rencola 88. Still haven't changed it to 24 yet, but I stuck with 88.
Ryan, it's time for your rant, my friend.
All right.
Woohoo.
Guys, what's going on? We're happy to be back. I got a rant for you. And it's not NASCAR related, so there was really nothing for me to rant yet with NASCAR. Give it time, we will. But here's my thing. This past summer, we're going to our local Meijer, and there's a Popeye's chicken in front of it. And there's a line wrapped around the damn building of this Popeye's. And I'm like, what is everybody in line for? So, me being nosy, I stop and I'm like, what is everybody in line for? And this lady's like, man, there's this chicken sandwich you got to try. The line was wrapped around the building. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to try it. So a couple days go by, we got to go back to Meijer's, which means we got to go buy the Popeyes with the damn line wrapped around the building twice. All this for a chicken sandwich. What is Popeyes putting in their chicken sandwich, AJ?
Cocaine.
All right. AJ got my answer. Have you tried it, AJ? Have you tried this Popeyes chicken
No,
sandwich?
but you know what? I passed the Popeyes yesterday. I think it was yesterday, and I was like, man, if I didn't just grab my lunch, I'd stop into that Popeyes and try their chicken sandwich. I didn't even think about it. Because I'm like, but I don't understand like the outrage over like, oh, I gotta have it.
And then all the videos of people beating the hell out of each other were something to laugh at. And then what opened? Oh, we had a Chick-fil-A open by us. There was over if you're the first 100 people in line, you got free Chick-fil-A for a year. People were spending the night in 18-degree weather. All this for free Chick-fil-A for a year.
I don't know, man. The only day I ever went Chick-fil-A is on Sunday, and they close on Sunday, so.
Yeah. And I when we were in Bristol, I had Chick-fil-A. Yeah, it was decent food.
I
I
prefer
didn't mind
Chick-fil-A
it.
over Popeyes.
I've never had Popeye, so but that damn chicken sandwich man made this world go crazy this
I prefer
past summer.
Bojangles over both.
Oh man, I take White Castle over them
Actually, you know what? I
also.
might take Chick-fil-A over Bojangles, but it would go like Chick-fil-A, Bojangles, Popeyes.
Oh, nice. I've never had Bojangles. It's I know there's I want to go to Darlington because they got Bojangles
I
down
thought I
there.
heard Bojangles wasn't even sponsoring that race next year.
Oh, really?
I think that's what I heard.
So, AJ, what do you think? I know my rant's done, but what are you expecting of the Pocono doubleheader weekend?
Excited. It's gonna be, Ryan.
Yep.
Let's save that for the next episode.
All right. All right.
Because
Yeah, let's go over the schedule next
let's
episode. That's a good
let's get in
idea.
the white flag.
Yeah, let's go.
Tight, keep working the mirrors. In line with you, coming to the white. Only two.
I say let's get into the white flag because what we're talking about is pretty much what Ryan asked. A season preview for us all season long, every Cup Series race week. We will have an episode for you, following and before every Cup race. I think I said that right.
The sounded right.
The week that Cup is off, we will not have a show the following week. We'll do our predictions the week before on that episode. And I'm sure there's going to be some times in the season where we take a day here or there, or a week here or there, I should say, and not have an episode. Life happens. Sometimes things come up that we can't avoid.
Exactly.
But the plan is for every Thursday, I should say it this way, every Thursday following a Cup race, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, on our YouTube channel, same time as tonight, we will be here, back, ready to go. We might not focus as much as we normally do on the Xfinity and Truck Series. We might go more in depth into Cup races and then sprinkle in the Xfinity and Trucks.
I say just like the key moments of it. Maybe
Exactly.
like obviously your stage winners for the truck and Xfinity. Maybe for example for obviously the Daytona race. Maybe there's a bad crash or maybe there's some great 3-wide racing for the finish. We can go over that, but we don't need to say, hey, this guy passed. Brett Moffitt passed.
Yeah, or
Matt Crafton.
this guy got a pit road penalty on this lap. Like, I don't think
exactly.
we're gonna do that this year. I will do like our usual, the top 5, your playoff standings, your next race, and then just a couple key moments, and then move on because we know that the main product of what you want to talk about is the Cup Series. Your main focus is the Cup Series.
Yep.
Ryan and I, though, we pay attention to all 3, and even more than that with ARCA and certain dirt races throughout the year.
Oh, yeah, dirt.
Ryan loves himself some dirt racing, let me tell you.
Merritt Speedway.
So that is the
Labor Day
plan. That is the plan for this year, is to be on every Thursday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. It sounds like it doesn't conflict with any of our schedules.
No, not at all.
So that is the plan for that. For now, being that it's a white flag and we get to pretty much like, this is where we do our predictions and what we think is going to happen. So I'm going to change it up a little bit. Ryan, what races do you plan on going to this year?
Hopefully both Michigan and probably that's just about it right there at this point. Probably wait a little bit later down the line when Logan gets a little bit older, then we'll do the out of state experience.
Road trip to Bristol. I'll join
Yeah,
you.
you know it. You know it.
You in Martinsville, first night race this year.
I would love to do it. So,
I'm gonna go to both Daytonas, but that's pretty much set in stone. And I'm working very hard right now to go to Homestead in March just for the Xfinity race, just to see Junior race once again.
of course.
That one more time thing. Because you gotta think, when I went to Daytona in February of 2017, right? Yeah, 2017.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was it. I didn't know that was gonna be the last time. So
Exactly. Well, the thing too is the second Michigan race. I know we're going to dive into it next weekend, but it's after that 2-week Olympic break, and that's the stretch run right there for the playoffs. So I know we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna dive into that more. So if I do, that's gonna be the one race I definitely am going to go to there.
So let's talk about that. Next week's show, or next week, I shouldn't say next week. In a couple weeks, we'll have another. You'll be focused to our Twitter. The Twitter page is going to be more active now that this show is done with. And I know it's running rather long, and longer than I thought it would go. We're at an hour and 20 minutes right now, or an hour and 10 minutes.
About that.
Next show we have, it's going to be a full prediction. What we think is going to be our championship picks, our playoff picks. We're going to go over the schedule a little bit, and any news that comes up we'll go over, and I think that'll do it, Ryan. I think I think that's the best thing to do at this point.
I agree. Predictions to go to the Super Bowl.
Jeez. Give me Mahomes and Garoppolo, but
I agree.
Man, I want to see Tennessee in there.
Man, Derrick Henry's been a madman possessed. But I know you know what Derrick Henry's been like? He's gonna be like that Hendrick Motorsports organization, baby. Going to the front.
Keep moving forward.
That's right.
Ryan,
yeah,
that does it. Hit him with it.
Guys, it's so glad to be back. And we will see you guys at the track.
That's right. We'll see you. See you next episode. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Patrick, Tony, thanks for coming by in the chat we got up here. Everyone else who downloaded this podcast, listen to it live, even if you didn't say nothing, we thank you so much. We're back. We're back for 2020. Take it to the bank. We're here all year. See ya.
2020.